Well, that was tough. I know it's tough for our guys to go through something like that. It wasn't from any lack of preparation, or I thought we had a good week of practice. But I think our guys are, and our staff, and myself included, embarrassed is a strong word, but I think everybody feels, embarrassed by just what happened. I think we prepared, as I said, but they came out. Fort Wayne's a great team. They're capable of putting it on you. They did it at their place against us. We got them at our place, but they've had games where they get really hot, and they're a really good three-point shooting team. To give up 16 threes against a team, and we intentionally tried to guard the three-point line. I know that doesn't look like it, but we actually did, and we did not compete at the defensive end of the floor, and we've been playing well at the defensive end of the floor. So I think all around, told the guys, felt horrible for the seniors and felt bad for these guys. It's not the way you want to end the season.
Questions for the student athletes?
Tristan, what are some things, obviously tonight you'd have to make an exception there, but the end of the year, 4 out of 5, and it definitely looked like you guys had improved as you went along once you got through the injuries in the middle of the year. What are some things you can look at and say that, well, we did do some of the things that we wanted to do here by the end of the year?
Yeah, obviously we faced a lot of injuries this season, and we kind of went through a rough patch during the season, especially conference. And, I'm proud of the team and my guys for just, we never held our head too low. We always showed up to practice, ready to work and ready to get better. And, we won our last 4 out of 5, which was good to see. But we laid an egg tonight, and, I feel awful for the seniors that we couldn't get them to the NCAA tournament for their last year.
Stanley, as you look forward to next year, kind of a big picture question here, what are some reasons that you could be optimistic about what's coming next for the program?
It's hard to be optimistic right now after a loss like that, but we got 4 starters coming back, we got Hags coming back, and we're just going to try to keep getting better, make a push to get back, and do it for the seniors.
What were they doing against you guys defensively there, especially at the beginning, and just keep you from getting any sort of rhythm and settling in?
I think we were just really stagnant on offense. I'm not sure what they're ranked for defensive whatever in the league, but we made them look like a lot better defensive team than they are tonight. Missing layups, missing threes, and it just wasn't the way we've been playing recently tonight. It just wasn't us.
Do you have any sort of explanation as to why it just fell apart tonight?
No.
Any other questions for the student athletes? All right, fellas, thank you. You can head back to the locker room. Coach, we'll finish with you. Go ahead with questions for Coach.
Todd, did it feel like it was mostly just them hitting shots, or did it feel like it was kind of a dual-sided issue there?
I think it was a combination. One, they hit a ton of shots. And, Dylan Carls made 6 threes on the year in the league. He comes out and he makes his first, and then he hits another one at the end of a shot clock. Conchar stepped us off and hit a couple threes, which he's capable of doing. But everybody was just making shots. And I think, unfortunately, what happened, and it was a combination of them making shots, and I think I got the feeling, and we were fighting it, that some of the guys were trying to make a play on their own instead of, letting the game, move the ball, create shots for each other. They were kind of playing a little bit of, well, I got to make a shot now. And we didn't want to get into a three-point shooting contest with them, even though we've been shooting the three well. We needed to move the ball and attack them. And it got a little stagnant, as Tristan said. But it did feel like they made every three they took. That's just the feeling you got. You know, at halftime, they had 11 threes, and they make 16. And I don't want to get too technical, but we didn't double the post, and we switched every ball screen. So we weren't supposed to leave the shooters. That's the reason why we played that way. And so we guarded a certain way to take away the three. And I know you guys are looking at me like I'm green, but that's really what we tried to do.
Coach, kind of along that same lines, John Conchar. I mean, you can game plan from as much as you want. Was that just more John being special, or just left him open? Because a couple of those threes, hand in his face, and he's knocking them down. Is that just him being a special player tonight with everything he did, or just didn't execute the game plan?
Well, first of all, he is a special player, and he's a special talent, and he's a physical talent. He's 6'5". I walked by him in the hotel today, and he looks like one of our post players. And you know, he is big and strong, and you can see, you know, it means a lot to seniors, obviously. And it means a lot to John Conchar. You know, he's a fifth-year senior. He's been first-team All-League 4 years. He's a heck of a player. I think a lot of it, I mean, I don't like watching it, what I saw tonight, but I do appreciate guys like John Conchar because they're special players. The Summit are losing two big-time guys in Mike Daum and John Conchar. I mean, those guys are two of the best that have ever played in this league. I think part of it was him just making shots, him just stepping us off and looking at us and just going, we're going to make a 22-footer. Not a lot of guys who can do that, and he's a special player.
Any other questions for Coach at all? Yep, back row here.
When they're just knocking down shots, seemingly every one they take, do you think that started to impact and influence the offense a little bit?
It did. Unfortunately, it did. I think our guys started to try to do some things on their own, and we're not that team. You know, we talked about before the game, the way we play the best is get the ball moving, share the ball. You know, when we have good assist nights, obviously, like a lot of teams. But we're not first of all, we don't have a guy we can just pound the ball into. We don't have a guy like Conchar or Dom or somebody that's just physically imposing where we can just, so we've got to move the basketball. And I think when they started just making, seemed like every shot, you know, they ended up shooting 59% in the first half. It's a big number, again, because we've been guarding. I think the guys started to go a little bit on their own, not because they wanted to score points, but because they wanted to try to make a play to help the team. But that's not how we play.
Did it seem like even as those shots weren't falling that you were able to get into the offense a little bit at any point?
Yeah, we did at times. We got into it some, but that was after we were down. So, but I think there's a little bit of a, you know, it snowballed. You know, they were making shots and we were in and out of possessions too quick.
Any update on Trey Birch Manning and what happened there?
Well, he got rolled up. It looked like I don't know if it's a high ankle sprain, but he was, you know, one of their players dove for the ball and rolled up on his ankle. So he's not moving very well. So that was unfortunate because that's not the way, besides not the way we want to play. You know, as a senior, you want to finish, you know, you want to compete.
Hey, Todd, how would you examine year number one? We know about a couple key injuries and a big push down the stretch before tonight, but what kinds of things do you look back initially and wish you would have done differently?
Well, I'm not sure what we would have done differently. I do think, I've been doing this for almost 30 years, and I haven't had a year like this. Very rarely do you start the season by losing your best player for the year. I mean, John Conchar, he's done for the year. What kind of year are they going to have? a first-team all-leaguer or an all-league guy, and he's a post player, and that's what we're lacking in size, obviously. I felt like at the beginning of the year we're going to have the best 4 or 5 combo in the league. We're going to have Tyler Hagedorn and Trey Birch-Manning. I feel bad for Trey Birch-Manning because he ended up playing the 5. He's a 6'6", 210-pound 5-man. Unfortunately, he had to do that. And then we ran into a few other injuries. But from our guys, you know, tonight wasn't an indication, but we've talked about how many close games we've played. We've had the guys prepared. I'm really proud of that. We've lost 11 games that were, you know, 1 or 2 possession games late in the game with a minute or 2 to go. It's been one of those years, and part of it is we don't have that go-to guy. But I think Tristan stepped up towards the end of the year. Cody was shooting the ball a lot better. We moved Tristan back to the point. The emergence of Stan Amude. I mean, he averaged 1 point a game last year. You know, that's a positive, obviously, because now we can point to a lot of things where he can improve. Stan said it. There's not the program. We start a lot of juniors, and our best players sitting over there on the bench, and the emergence of Stan. So we've got guys coming in. You know, we will recruit, but I think from what we went through this year, I'm proud of the guys, the way they battled. They never gave up, like Tristan said. We went through a lot of injuries. We had some tough times. We were on the road a lot in the middle of the season during the league schedule, but we finished strong. You can get beat, which everybody's, you know, there's one team that's not going to get beat, but you don't want to lose this way. I'll tell you that. So I know our guys are embarrassed by that, but I'm not embarrassed because I'm proud of the guys. They battled all year. They were a great group. They're great kids. So I think we can learn a lot from, and I'll say this, you know, we got hyped up, not hyped up, but people, hey, you're playing great. I've been doing this for a long time. When you get into a one-and-done deal in the league tournament, it really doesn't matter. I mean, it can be, they lost 4 in a row coming in here. Well, I would say they don't look like a team that's lost 4 in a row. And that's the beauty of March basketball. You can get on a roll, and it can all change. And it can change in a 4 or 5 minute stretch during a first half, which it might have for them tonight.